So, but what I want you to see is verse 7. Satan's hold on humanity is so strong. Now, when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan will be released from his prison. Verse 8, he goes out and deceives the nations, which are on the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together. What's happening? Well, let me do it real quick. During the millennium, this happens. Jesus opens God's visitor center in Jerusalem. That's why we have to have the millennium. The purpose is Jesus wants to evangelize the world. Ezekiel 40 through 48 describes this place. It's only briefly mentioned in Revelation 20 and verse 9. Ezekiel actually tells us the dimensions. It's a 25,000 cubit by 25,000 cubit visitor center with, right in the middle, a temple. And that's where Jesus, you can see him and come visit him. And that's where he reigns. And it's talked about all the way through the Old Testament and in Revelation 20. Can you imagine a visitor center that's 7 miles by 7 miles with this giant temple in the middle? But the green part is what I like. This is what we're going to look at right here in Revelation 20. Look at verse 9. And this is such an application to us. And I'll just read all the verses up to it. He deceives the world in verse 8, to the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, and gathers them together to battle. The number is like the sand of the sea, so basically the whole world marches against Jerusalem. And they went up from the breadth of the earth, and they surround, look at verse 9, the camp of the saints and the beloved city. So this is Jerusalem and the Millennial Temple, and all those who love the Lord, who are saints, they camp. See what it says? The camp of the saints. What is that? Well, these people didn't want to miss these feasts that are going on. Remember, there are biblical holidays that are in Exodus and Leviticus and all the way through the Old Testament. Basically, they portray what Jesus did. Passover is his death, unleavened bread is his burial, first fruits was his resurrection, 50 days after first fruits is the day of Pentecost. Then there are no feasts until the fall, which is a kind of a nice picture of the church era. Then there are fall holidays, the trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the tabernacles. And a lot of people think that Jesus will come somehow in conjunction with the trumpets, that the kind of like the whole judgment will be the Day of Atonement, and the millennium will be the tabernacles. But those things, those feasts, are going to be celebrated during the millennium. And the saints want to camp as close to the Lord as they can get. So gradually, all the believers on earth began moving to be near the temple because they can't get enough of the Lord. But all the rest of the people aren't interested in the Lord. And you know what happens. Look what happens.